So here's my summing up of the latest press conference against Watford. There's of course the game tomorrow. Started off Pep Guardiola by talking about Vincent Kompany's injury availability. He said he was back in training, but very much seemed to suggest that he wouldn't be involved in the game against Watford. He spoke about Ederson's performance in Feyenoord, not the specifics of it really, but more the fact that he was so brave and so wanted to play in the game, which he saw as a very encouraging sign, which clearly it was. He also spoke about the squad rotation, the top possibility of putting different players in against Watford, and he actually described West Brom, the game next Wednesday in the League Cup, as a final. Now, he doesn't mean it's a final, of course he doesn't. What he means is it's a cup tie, it's a sudden death game, and it sounds as if he's going to take that game fairly seriously. We'll see when he picks his team for that game, but it certainly is a competition I think that City are not planning to throw away, as maybe they've been accused of in the past. Now, I've seen the rumours like everybody else that Yaya Toure, that there's another issue, or whether that's with his agent or what's gone on, I'm not sure, and that wasn't expanded on in the press conference. But what Pep did say was how valuable he thought Yaya Toure was. He did want him in his squad. He knew what he'd achieved in the past. He knew what a great player he was. And then when he was asked whether Yaya was in the squad for the Watford game, he said he didn't know yet. And in terms of what side he will pick tomorrow, he said he'll sit down with his coaches and decide that tonight. He said when asked about the start now to the season, and obviously two results against Feyenoord and Liverpool back-to-back, about the fact that City had played so well at the beginning of last season, then dipped off a little bit, and he didn't want that to happen again. So he's obviously aware of it. He also spoke very highly about Watford generally, saying that they were a physical team. He really hates their fantastic, as he described in Coach Silva, and the achievements he'd made. He was aware that they were dangerous from set pieces in particular, throw-ins he identified, and was also pleased on City's behalf that of course they scored 2 goals from set pieces themselves and headers from John Stones at Feyenoord, which pleased him a lot and said it added another dimension. There was a question about, which is something I've talked about in the past and certainly something I plan to talk about more in the future, about, and did it with the Manchester Evening News in their video channel not too long ago, Talking City, about the Pep style of possession football and dominating games as opposed to counter-attacking, which some people see as a more effective way of ultimately winning trophies. He said in answer to that one that he thought that City's style, which is his style, had certainly worked for him at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, so he saw no reason for it not to work again. But of course it's not as black and white as some people suggest that, is it? He also talked about the fact that his style of high pressing, or his team's style of high pressing, effectively was counter-attacking football, but just in a different form, because if you win the game high up when the other team are trying to counter-attack you, you're immediately on them. So an interesting dimension there, which of course I agree with. And he also was asked a question about Brahim Diaz, a young player who I rate very highly. We saw that Jadon Sancho moved on to Dortmund just before the transfer window closed, and apparently there's some reported interest in Real Madrid on Brahim Diaz. He said that so far that the player had been brought through at City, his family were very happy, he was very happy, and he had every confidence that the player would know that to develop his career, the best place for him to be would be at City. But he did admit that ultimately he can't do much to stop a player or a family in that situation if they really want to move on. When he was asked whether they might, that is City, offer a bit more money to Brahim Diaz, or perhaps a better deal to try to persuade him to stay, he said that wasn't the sort of thing he got in. And he said he knew that managers at some clubs were hands-on and did all that themselves, but at this club, Ferran Soriano, the chief executive, and Chiqui Begiristain were the two people who dealt with that, so he would leave that to them, but obviously that he would hope that Brahim Diaz would stay. Then there was of course an embargoed section which will be revealed a little later on tonight, but that was the basis of the press conference. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, it's free, and share, and there'll be another vlog. If you've not looked at the ones in Rotterdam, then have a look at them. There'll be another vlog of course of the game at Watford tomorrow. So thanks very much, see you soon.